NBC News correspondent Jake Ward is joining us now from San Francisco, one of the nation's most expensive rental markets. Good morning, Jake. So tell us about this eviction moratorium that expired. What did it do, and how many renters are impacted by this?
Good morning, Ellison. That's right. The clock is now ticking on millions of Californians who are behind on their rent or in some other way worrying about keeping a roof over their heads. In this case, we are talking here about the expiration of what was a blanket prohibition on evicting anyone who could actually show that they had some sort of COVID-related financial hardship and were making a good faith effort to pay their rent. Now, that blanket state protection has devolved down into a more patchwork series of protections, but now renters are going to have to find their way through that sort of bureaucracy. We spoke to the head of the UWBA Area, one of many local organizations that is still trying to pump federal assistance into the rental market here. And the executive director described just how scary this change is for renters. Have a listen.
We're very concerned about what the next few days and the next few weeks will bring. Look, losing a roof over your head is devastating. It's destabilizing. And the main tool we had to prevent that from happening during COVID-19 was the eviction moratorium.
Now, these sorts of protections still exist on a piecemeal basis. If you go to UWBA Area as a distressed renter or as a landlord who is concerned about making one's mortgage, you can still get relief. But that blanket protection, this just sort of cocoon that everyone was held in during COVID, well, Ellison, that seems to be over.
What are the renters impacted by this telling you about what this does for their lives?
This is an extraordinary concern for people who live here in California, especially here in the Bay Area, where there is so little affordable housing. We spoke to one mother of three about what it has been like living in Palo Alto, where she lives, you know, the heart of Silicon Valley, but also a place where working people have an incredibly difficult time making ends meet. Listen to what she said.
My rent has been raised $500 each year that I've been here. 1 year, it was raised $300, and 1 year it was not raised at all. And so that has definitely put myself and my children in a situation to where we don't know where we're going to be after today.
Now, Ms. Cheadle is one of over 1.1 million Californians that the census data suggests are behind on their rent. But if you speak to, for instance, the UWBA Area, they estimate that as many as 1 in 3 California families is at risk of eviction. And that is, of course, Ellison, why everyone is so concerned about this turn of events.
1 in 3. For those people who are struggling and maybe seeing this news and worried about what comes next, what, if any, resources are available? Where should they go? Who should they call?
Well, it is important to understand that there are still vast protections here in California. You really have to think of California as almost its own nation, because that's the kind of firepower being brought to bear on this. There is still billions of dollars, because $5.2 billion in federal funding has been flowing to renters and to landlords who are distressed. And so you still can, even though the eviction moratorium is over, apply for that funding. The problem is you have to apply. You have to go and get the California COVID Rent Relief Program application online and make it happen. But this end of the eviction moratorium, of course, ends the blanket cocoon that had sort of protected everybody all this time on us.